Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Travis Markwood. I'm the president of the Lancaster-Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce. At this time, if you'll stand and join us for the presentation of the colors from the VFW Post 3761 and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. At this time, from Pastor Joe Grubbs of the Now Church of Baltimore will present this morning's invocation.
Lord, we thank you for another day. We realize that you are the author and the finisher of our faith. Lord, I pray for the village of Baltimore. I lift up our government officials, law enforcement, first responders, school administration, and the citizens of the village. I pray on this President's Day that we return to the discarded values of the past, embrace the biblical standards of your word. Give us insight to lead with integrity and justice, that our decisions may reflect what is right and good. Lord, I pray that you bless this State of the Village meeting with wisdom. Grant us understanding in the times in which we live and knowledge of what to do. Give us clarity and direction that we speak in humility to make this community strong and unified. Guard us from blind self-interest and always seek your will in all we do and say. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
When Mayor Kalish asked me to say a few words today, I was certainly happy to do so. I've always considered Baltimore, Ohio to be a community of top-notch individuals, top-notch residents, and leaders. So it's my honor to be here today to provide some opening comments for Mayor Kalish. Fairfield County is fortunate to have a very active team of private and government-based leaders who work together in economic development every day. Creating and promoting a friendly business climate here is the key to the Chamber's goal of bringing sustainable jobs from committed business partners. It's a team effort that involves every corner of Fairfield County. The Village of Baltimore has been a big part of that effort. I was recently disappointed to learn that the Baltimore Area Chamber of Commerce has decided to close its doors as an organization. However, I do understand the time and resources needed to keep an organization like this going. I do want to ensure Baltimore businesses and officials that the Lancaster-Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce, the Fairfield County Economic Development Office, is a phone call away and will support the community and its businesses to the best of our ability. So please don't hesitate to contact us for any assistance that you may need. At this time, it is my pleasure to now introduce your mayor, Bob Kalish.
Thank you, Travis. I was telling someone here before, I said this is the largest crowd and it's probably the lowest temperature, so go figure. As the county's largest village, I'm very pleased with the support of the Lancaster-Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce and its leadership in the area of economic development. We in Baltimore recognize partnerships are one of the best things to get things done in Baltimore. And we're getting things done in Baltimore because we're a community with vision. At the top of my agenda today, as we have done in the past 15 years, and this is the 16th year of the State of the Village address, will be no different. I want to take time to recognize nonprofit organizations that work behind the scenes to make Baltimore what it is, a great community. And speaking of vision, I'd like to call upon the Baltimore Lions Club, if they could come up at this time, the members. And speaking of vision, since 1970s, the Baltimore Lions Club has promoted awareness of eye health by helping provide access of important eye examinations. These men and ladies have made affordable, available eyeglasses to those who could benefit from them. Their motto is, "We serve," and here to receive the accommodation from the Village of Baltimore and the Baltimore Lions Club is its past district governor and President Bill Schultz, and many proud, there's a past district governor over here, many years probably, George Bachman, and many of our proud Lions Club members, Mike Shire, Art Great, Mike Graver, Jim Keller, and Ruth Crutcher. And from the Lions Club, we serve. Some of the highlights of this: they've been in existence since the 1970s. Most importantly, they still foster the Constitution and the importance of that on Liberty Day. They teach our middle school and junior high students about the importance, and they help to remodel the Basel Shelter House, Basel Community Center. But most importantly, they're world renowned for one thing: the world famous Baltimore funnel cake. We're presenting to you the Baltimore Lions Club. Let's give a great hand.
Thank you, Mayor Kalish, and I'd like to thank you and the village for recognizing us for 43 years of service to this community. Even though the Lions organization is the largest service organization in the world, we are community-based first and foremost. Over the past 43 years, our club, through all of your donations of buying those funnel cakes and French fries and lemonade and everything that you bought through our food trailer, you have helped us donate over $270,000 worth of donations to the needs and needy of this community and also the world. We do serve. Vision is our primary focus, but we do so much else to help this community. So thank you for recognizing the Baltimore Lions Club, and we're proud to receive this.
Thank you. Thank you, Baltimore Lions Club, for that great accommodation and support in our community. The other accommodation I plan to present today is from the Baltimore Rotary Club. And if there are club members here from the Baltimore Rotary Club at this time, they can come up. The Baltimore Rotary Club began serving the community in 2002. So compared to maybe to the Lions, there might be a little younger, but their heart is community spirit and nonprofit giving back to the community. Their international motto is service above self. The local club has provided scholarships to area students, supported families in need at Christmas, and provided dictionaries to Liberty Union Thurston and students. This morning I'm presenting this accommodation to the Baltimore Rotary Club. Some of the highlights of this is that they started in 2002. They adopted families at Christmas, scholarship, and have also supported an Interact Club in our high school. And actually the very first meeting, the thought about planning one was on 9/11/2001, 7 o'clock in the morning at Christ United Methodist Church. Didn't start until 2002. And we have Club President, President-elect, and we will have any comments?
I'd like to thank Mayor Kalish for this. The Rotary is an international group. One of the things that we really strive for and almost accomplished so far is to eradicate polio. Our next point of view to help the world is to purify water. And these are a couple of international programs. And we like also helping the community itself with different projects. And we thank you very much.
Okay, that was Brad Williams. We have Superintendent Osborn, Irene DePaulo, Pastor Joe Grubbs, and Trudy Reed from Fairfield National Bank, our Baltimore Rotary Club. Thank you. And I finally want to recognize a longtime corporate citizen of Baltimore, the Ohio Paperboard Corporation, a member of the Newark Group. In 2014, the company solved the age-old issue of the smell of the paper mill. Last year, the mill installed a gas collection system, which burns off the anaerobic gas produced by the manufacturing process. This action was completely funded by the company. It was not mandated by the state or federal EPA. This company initiative effectively reduces the odor from the plant by 95%. I laud the efforts, the management of the paper mill to further improve Baltimore's quality of life. Representatives of the mill could not be here this morning, but we again thank them for their efforts on behalf of the residents of the Village of Baltimore. Well, last year, as I spoke to you about the importance of the role of planning in the execution of wise economic development, and this year will be no different. This year, I will underscore that importance. In a big way, Baltimore is laying the groundwork for the future because that's what communities with vision do. We have Mr. Walker from the National Church Residents. Eric, please stand. Eric Walker and the other staff from Walnut Creek Village be recognized as well. 4 months ago, the National Church Residents, the nation's largest provider of affordable senior housing, began construction on a $2.8 million renovation of Walnut Creek Village, and that is a retirement community that is located on State Route 158, south of the IGA here in the village. The facility's 41 apartments will be completely updated and modernized. A commercial kitchen and dining room will be added along with a nurse's station and therapy gym. This project will preserve the affordable housing component in our community and enhance Baltimore's ability to provide these services right here in our own backyard. This work is expected to be completed by the end of this year. And by the way of demonstrating just how serious we are about being proactive on the economic development front, my administration, together with the support of Village Council, we have Councilmember Hookrattle, and we have Councilmember Keller here. We also have Councilmember Moeller, House, Hankinson, and Hamilton as well, that supported us on this of eliminating the impact fees from our community. And then here's an example of what this action would mean. A commercial development of 1,000 square feet will save $1,173, and for residential it means a savings of $565 per dwelling unit. We're becoming more business friendly in the Village of Baltimore, and that's a good thing. Baltimore needs to be more attractive to businesses in more than one way. Being a part of a dynamic Central Ohio is a good thing for Baltimore. Being on or near state routes 256 or 37 is good. Being in close proximity to I-70, around 7 to 8 miles, is good. And being in a well-established community with a multi-generational Midwestern work ethic is good. But we have more work to do to make Baltimore great, and we need to tell people about it. We need to be a part of what developers want if we want to get what we want. And you may ask, what do we want? Well, I've talked, and many of our council members and other community leaders have talked to the 30-year-old and early 40 generation in that age category. They're looking for brand new subdivision, a brand new home to call Baltimore home. We need that. The senior population maybe live in an older home, want to downsize, they might want a condo. And we want jobs right close to in Baltimore. That's what we want. Our economy has stabilized and is growing. Last year we annexed 59 acres of land into the village, first into Walnut Township on one annexation. We entered into agreements in 2014 that will effectively improve water pressure, serving a small business, and that small business is located on State Route 256 in Sackets, just east of our community. Our safety forces, police and fire, are strong, and our schools, which you will know here in Liberty and Thurston School District, are excellent. But we still must plan for the future, because that's what communities with vision do. During my administration, this is where you come into participation for tomorrow night and March 17th, so please listen. During my administration, we have obtained many grants, and in 2015, Baltimore may once again have that opportunity to succeed in receiving a community development block grant or neighborhood revitalization grant for $270,000. We're asking you, our citizens, to attend two public meetings, the first February 17th tomorrow and March 17th, both at 6:30 p.m. and both at the council chambers at 103 West Market Street. We need your input into the process. This is a competitive grant against the entire state of Ohio. These monies could very well be used to provide maybe LED street lights with buried electrical lines in a section of our downtown of 256, 158, and the other downtown of Ballsville and 256. Possibility of improved park equipment. The endless opportunities are for you to tell us at this meeting, through Fairfield County Regional Planning, what you hope to see. These grants, as I stated, are very competitive by nature, and the more Baltimore residents in attendance at these hearings and the youth of our community, the future leaders of tomorrow, the better our application will fare. You've been with us before, we need you now. We need your input. That's tomorrow night at 6:30 and Tuesday, March 17th, again at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Next month, and as we're all looking forward to March, I just got some Girl Scout cookies, so I know at the end of this, we're looking for spring basketball, March Madness, but our community will welcome Lauren Martin as the director of the Baltimore Community Museum. And that's a hidden gem in our community. We hired her. Lauren will help us to tell the story of our community and heritage through her wealth of previous experience. We're very excited about that. We have our job fair slated for March 30th, Christ United Methodist Church Family Life Center. And this is a great news. We will put people and employers and job seekers together. I want to now ask our village administrator, Scott Brown, to bring you up to date on your vital aspects of your village governance. Village Administrator Scott Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. In 2012, the village general fund had a carryover of $22,000. The street fund had a carryover of $21,000, and the wastewater carryover had $14,000. Today, all three of these funds have well over $100,000 in each fund. It's no secret how the village has managed to increase these funds. Administratively, the village has eliminated over $120,000 in wastewater operating expenses while expanding our service area to increase our customer base. The street fund is improved because we're using our funds as match money for public works grants. These grants have given the village a 5-to-1 return on our resources. In other words, the village is getting 5 times as much paving done with our money by using these resources as a match money for paving grants instead of just paving with our money. The general fund is directly attributed to the economy. There's no doubt that the economy is better off today than 3 years ago, and these numbers reflect that. Additionally, the village council and its administration have made some smart and frugal decisions. The question posed today is, what is Baltimore going to do with these strong numbers to better the residents of Baltimore? Baltimore's plan is to invest in its residents. The first step in this plan is implementing a sidewalk rehabilitation grant. This grant is a first-come, first-served grant that pays up to 30% of the cost of repairing or replacing a sidewalk in front of a property owner's residence or business. Initially, the village has set aside $5,000 for this program to assist property owners who wish to improve their sidewalks. Additionally, with proper scheduling, the village will even excavate and dispose of the existing sidewalk, saving property owners significant costs. Sidewalks are vital to our community, and the village recognizes this and wants to both assist and encourage property owners to invest in this infrastructure. Drinking water is another asset that the Village of Baltimore is investing in on behalf of our residents. The current water treatment plant was built in 1935. The last upgrade to the water treatment plant was 1974. About 8 years ago, the village commissioned a preliminary engineering study to determine the cost of building a new water treatment plant. A new water treatment plant would cost about $5 million to build. Over the last 18 months, the current administration has been working to design a water treatment plant upgrade that would accomplish what a new water plant would produce. As a result of this work, we have designed an upgrade that will last at least 20 years and provide just as high a quality of drinking water as a new plant for a cost of about $1.5 million. This work will save the residents about $3.5 million in capital expenses and another $1 million in interest payments. Additionally, the village saved about $500,000 in engineering by upgrading instead of building a new plant. In total, the village will save about $5 million over the life of the plant by doing an upgrade instead of building a new plant, which is equal to about a $15 a month debt service payment that residents will not have to make. Lastly, the village administration has engaged the business community within Baltimore. The Planning Commission has worked steadily with property owners and business owners to review the aspects of our zoning code, which has proven difficult for businesses to be successful. Over the past year, the Planning Commission has worked very closely with several businesses to address the village sign legislation. After inviting the community to a Planning Commission meeting, the members of the committee quickly recognized that there were several aspects of the sign legislation that were not friendly to businesses and ultimately did not legislate in a manner that was both favorable to either the business community or the residents in general. Working very closely with the business community, the Planning Commission spent an entire year drafting and redrafting the legislation until it accomplished what was truly best for all residents and businesses within the Village of Baltimore. The Planning Commission's work is not finished, and we will continue to engage our residents and the business community to evolve our zoning regulations to best suit the Village of Baltimore for today and tomorrow. With smart decisions and a strong economy, the village continues to grow its financial resources for the betterment of its primary asset, the residents of the Village of Baltimore. Thank you.
At this time, Chief Tessie is under the weather, but we will have Lieutenant Jason Harget to present the state of our village police department and some of the updates of the DARE and school activities of how we interact with our school community. Lieutenant Harget.
Good morning, thank you for attending. First of all, I'd like to say that we're so blessed in Baltimore to have such a great relationship between the police department and our village residents. This has allowed us to maintain a low crime rate compared to other villages our size. During the last year, the police department has had several criminal events that are successfully investigated and sent to the prosecutor's office. Chief Tessie would like to highlight some of these cases for you today. The police department responded to the report of a man attempting to pass a counterfeit check at a local bank. We responded, located the man, and he had the checks in his possession that were counterfeit. This was a huge case, not just with Baltimore, but the entire Lancaster area. We, upon investigation, found that this check ring was located from the west side of Columbus, and of course came to our community. The police department received a call stating that a male was standing in front of an upstairs window, posing nude, as our school buses would pass. So he knew our schedule for our bus routes. We took the complaint and set up surveillance for this gentleman and got him on video. So upon investigation, we went and prosecuted him and also indicted him for exposing himself to nude children. A female victim came to the police department to say that she had been sexually assaulted at a job in Baltimore. Again, we did an extensive background investigation and we were able to determine that there was a second victim. Contact was made with the alleged suspect. Throughout the investigation, the gentleman was also indicted on numerous charges related to the two attacks here in Baltimore. Other highlighted complaints that we took: 41 domestic violence complaints, several public intoxication, 9 suicide attempts, 6 assaults, 12 drug-related offenses, 47 vehicle lockouts. For some reason, those are popular for us. We continue to do that as a service. Some agencies don't do that any longer because of liability. But again, we still provide that service for our residents or whoever's coming through Baltimore. 27 threats or harassments, 18 auto accidents. And look at the weather today, so we cross our fingers today. 110 miscellaneous criminal reports. That could be anything: criminal damaging, dog complaints, dog barking, so on and so forth. Total, we look at 57 criminal reports per month is what we're looking at as our average. And that does not count anything that a report is not made. Our school resource program, we try to keep good staff with that, but again, that is not included in the 57 criminal reports per month. And I'm also going to do the school update. Every year I'm honored to do this as well. It's been 6 years between the partnership of Liberty Union Schools and the Village of Baltimore. It's hard to believe it's been 6 years that this program has been implemented. This position has helped close the gap between juveniles and the Baltimore Police Department. It has reduced our juvenile crime tremendously. Over 700 sixth grade students have successfully completed and graduated my DARE program. This year, another 106 will graduate the program. Again, this is a nonprofit program, and we rely on donations for this program to make it free for our students and parents. Liberty Union Schools is a huge supporter when it comes to our DARE program. Again, it's taught in the 6th grade. Another successful program that we've had for 6 years is the SKILL program. Superintendent Osborn is also part of that program, and pretty much with that program, it's just like DARE, but it takes it one step further. It's about reducing substance abuse when it comes to our youth. So Mr. Osborn, myself, Tony Ashton from the Recovery Center, we sit down and we think of things that we can do with these kids to make it fun for them to learn, except lecturing. So we try to pick activities that we can do that's fun. The 2014-15 school year, and I'll introduce him in a second, Officer Patton. He is a school resource officer for the high school. Officer Patton. Officer Patton's duties include providing security for the Liberty Union High School and also for the middle school as well when I'm not available. He works with school administration, dealing with security issues and student issues. Just him being in the school alone helps. Just knowing that somebody is here present. Maybe students just want somebody to talk to, they're just having a bad week or just having a bad weekend. Officer Patton is here for them as well. We also, at the police department, continue to monitor South Main Street for the speeders on 158. Our goal is not to write a bunch of tickets on 158. Our goal is to slow these kids down and slow the parents down from coming to school as well. The Safe Route to Schools, I talked about it last year. It's been a huge success. It's really helped out stopping cars from flying down 158. Everything's more visible, so we are appreciative when it comes to that. This year, the Ohio Department of Education launched a new program. It's called Safer OH Tip Program. What that is, it's a hotline for anybody to call, text with concerns that a student may be exhibiting erotic behavior or as being bullied. It's basically just a tip line. Okay? You don't have to give your information if you don't like. It can be completely anonymous. How that works is that actually goes, it gets answered. No matter who calls, what time of day it is, 24/7, it's actually answered by Homeland Security, and they do an assessment to figure out what is going on, if this is a legitimate complaint, and they forward that to us locally. That's going to be a fantastic program. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. The new speaker on the State of the Village is Superintendent Todd Osborn. Will give the State of the Liberty Union Thurston School District. Superintendent Osborn.
Thank you for having me, and one, I'd like to thank Trudy and your staff at Fairfield National Bank for the coffee. I am battling a terrible cold, so I brought the coffee up with me in case I get a little phlegmy up here. Also, I'd like to appreciate Senator Balderson for coming. He met with a group of superintendents from Fairfield County, and when you get a group of superintendents in the same room, we tend to be whiny about everything that we don't like. So anybody who wants to sit there for an hour and a half and listen to us whine, I do appreciate that and coming out again today. I would like to thank everybody for coming out on such a cold day. And I remember when I got hired in June, it was about 85 degrees. It was beyond nervous, and I spoke to the school board about relationships. And I said, that is my strong suit. I have the unique ability, probably from my mom, to just get out and talk to people, meet and greet, and I will focus on relationships, and that will become a focus that we'll do in the school. We'll talk about positive role models, positive attitudes, and character education as the way to teach kids and prepare them for the 21st century. So as I transitioned into this position, I was told that everything is set, we've hired some new teachers, you're good to go. In the next 3 weeks, rule number 1, if you'll be a superintendent, have a good football coach so you can focus on academics. Number 2, have a good band director so you can focus on academics to start the school. And number 3, have a good athletic director that will handle everything so you can focus on academics to start the school year. Within the next 2 weeks being hired, I had to hire all 3 of these people. Along with a maintenance director that had been on the position for 60 days, a technology director who was going to be new, a transportation director so we can get the buses out, and a curriculum director. You add that in with a new superintendent that's from Northeast Ohio that didn't know the area very well. It was time, and I go back to one of my favorite quotes from Don Shula. I'm not a miracle worker. I just roll up my sleeves and go to work. And so it was time to get busy. So I would transition down as I was looking for a place to live. A friend of my father's from a high power introduced me to Richard Fast, who now I have an apartment that I live in his apartment, so I can transition and come down. And he made the transition extremely well and easy for me. Mayor Kalish invited me to this, and I'm very proud to be here. And he talked in his speech as a village with a mission, and aligned that to Liberty Union Schools in this ever-changing world. Fast-paced technology, demands of a school district has transformed. In order to prepare kids for the next stage in life, we need to prepare them to be career-ready, college-ready, as they leave the hallways. But you need to keep in mind, Google's research states that 75% of the jobs that current middle school and elementary kids will have not been invented. You have to think about that. Not been invented. So we need to prepare kids for a future that we don't even know what it looks like. I keep this poster in my office, or in my office, that says innovations. And on the bottom of it, it says 1899, U.S. Patent Office. Everything that has been invented, worthwhile, has already been invented. So we think we'll be out of business soon. Now we're going back to 75% of the jobs haven't been invented yet. So the question I usually get asked is, how do you prepare kids for jobs that haven't been invented? And I tell everybody, that's the easy part. We prepare our teachers. The most decisive variable in a classroom is a teacher. We are working with our teachers to be innovative. Gone are the days when you and I went to school, where you had 2 sets of encyclopedias in the classroom. The teacher said, okay, you're going to do a report. Pick an inventor. And everybody sprinted to grab an encyclopedia. Because if you got the S first, you were way ahead of everybody else. You know, some kids were smart and they sidle up to somebody else and do that, but those days are gone. You don't see encyclopedias in the classroom anymore. The days where you wrote about one inventor, we don't do that with kids anymore. We now ask the kids to compare them to a modern day person, to determine the outcomes if they live today, to predict their behaviors, anticipate what they would look to invent today. And all that information is right on their fingertips. It's right on their fingertips. We are a one-to-one school here at the high school. We are looking to move that into the middle schools, the 7th and 8th grade program. And our kids are better at it, faster at it. They analyze things much better than what we ever did as kids. It is unbelievable the work that they produce. So we don't focus on what the kids are doing. We focus on the teachers to get them past those things, because most of us are, you know, some of the teachers are my age. And so we're going to teach like the way we were taught. We need to transform them so they can help our kids for the future. We live in a global society. Our students are not competing for jobs with the kid down the street or the school next door. They're competing for jobs with kids in other countries, kids across the state, because it does not matter. Boundaries don't matter anymore. Today's internet has changed all of that. And so that's what we're training kids to do. Be innovators, be thinkers, get out there. I talk to business leaders, and that's what they tell me that they want. We need kids that are innovative, kids that are thinkers, kids that can problem solve, and be able to stand up, talk, greet people, and be able to listen, understand, comprehend, and then be able to move forward. Most businesses require you to work with technology. Most businesses. I'm trying to think of one that really doesn't have a computer. I remember the days of counting change. I remember the days when I got hired at Burger King and ringing up in the cash register, and it was $7.27 was the bill, and the guy gave me 10 1/4. I'm thinking, oh, okay, what do I got to do? And I got to wrap through my head, and you have to type that in. The kids just type it and look at the computer now. It's there. They're inundated with technology. Our mission as educators is to prepare the kids in Liberty Union to be innovators and thinkers and get them out into the world. This past year, Liberty Union was awarded 2 grants. We got more than $600,000 to help our kids and to help our teachers. The first one I'm going to talk about is the ST Math Grant. The ST Math Grant brought us 300 Google Chromebooks to put in our elementary schools. That's something that we couldn't afford as a district. That is something we have to plan out and purchase and package. 300 of them arrived. Now, in typical fashion, none of them were ready to work for us, but we figured it out. We rolled up our sleeves, we went to work, and we got everything figured out. We got that. What it is a con math program. And typical days when I went to school, we got a worksheet, the teacher got up to the board, you worked on a couple problems, you raised your hand if you knew the answer, and you tried to hide your head if you didn't know the answer, and go down here like, hey, don't call on me, that's the one I don't know the answer to. You went up to the board, you got some chalk, and you worked on it. Gone. Now the kid has a computer in front of him. And on this computer is this little penguin called Gigi. Gigi has to make it across the screen. And it can be as simple as 3 plus 3 equals 6. And there's 3 blocks there that emphasize 3, and there's 5 blocks over here. And the kid drags the 3 blocks to make the math problem, and Gigi gets across the bridge. I was in a 2nd grade classroom with state board member, Mrs. Todd. And we stopped and looked, and the kid raised his hand, and the teacher's on the other side of the room, and I did what you never want to do as a superintendent. I said that right, the superintendent. I walked over there and said, I'll help you. And I said, what are we working on? I had no idea what we were doing. Second grade math, this kid was in a spatial geometry figure. It was a proof. So not only did we have to figure out the formula, then I had to put the blocks together in the proper steps so the Gigi, the penguin, could walk up the blocks. Took me about 3 or 4 minutes to actually sit down and figure out what was going on. The kid got stuck, we worked at it, we talked back and forth, we got it. The next thing, as I look over beside me, is the kid beside them is doing is doing long division. They're doing the kid beside them is doing multiplication. The kid over there is doing some algebra with a 3x plus 3, and they're solving for x. You move at your own pace. Classrooms are innovative. Kids are phenomenal with what they're doing. The heck with the show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Trust me, don't get stuck in that second grade math room. Look at those programs and what the kids are doing. They're absolutely fantastic. And what the kids do is then they talk to their neighbor as to what you need to do. And they talk as kids do. You need to get Gigi to go across. You've got to build that bridge, and you have to put it up in steps. Because we teach them the rules, not to show them, but to talk to them. And so we talk to kids on how to teach. Back when I was in school, that was called cheating. Today it's collaborative learning. It's great stuff. It is truly unbelievable. The second grant we received was the Fast Forward grant. This grant focused on leadership in teams. We have a design team. How many people have been on our website or heard about the design team where our group is being involved in creating a variety show and being involved with the tree project here in Baltimore? Does anybody notice that? We had a couple people. They're like, our kids are going to be active in the community, and we got $50,000 to not only train the kids, to train the teachers, but also to implement some of these programs and purchase things for this community that our kids will put together and work hand in hand with community members. There's a tree project going on, and we're also working with the Opera House, and we're going to bring a variety show to raise money because it has to be self-funding as we go. Anybody can be part of this. Actually, we put it on our website. We need people to help our kids design tickets. We have great ideas. We would like for anybody to be part of that. Come in, design tickets, to help kids learn marketing, to help kids learn the accounting and how they have to keep track of the tickets. Some kids, just give me 20 tickets, I'll sell them. Well, we have to track them. What numbers do you have? We have to know how many people are coming. You got to prepare for all these things. And so it's a great project to teach kids business, marketing, finance, accounting, arts, all in one project for a variety show. It's a talent show that anybody can be part of. The second part of the Fast Forward grant is a design team that I am part of. It helps us as leaders learn how to focus a group of teachers into designing projects. From there, we took the leadership part. Our curriculum director, Jennifer Blackstone, has now created a design team that is going to go out and work with other teachers. Now, what these teachers have done is they offer free clinics after school. So after they're there all day, put in their 8-hour day, then they come for 2-hour meetings to learn how to better be innovative and better design work. Not design lessons, design work for the kids to do in the classroom. That is what we're all about today, is getting these people and getting the kids in there, creating a vision, not only the vision to move forward, but making our kids 21st century learners, 21st century innovators, and 21st century leaders that will come back and lead our community and get us out there. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up, and I'm going to be a good educator here. I'm going to make you ask me 3 fact-finding questions about anything that you heard today before you're allowed to leave. And since it doesn't end at 10, I got 15 minutes to wait. It's usually a high school thing with the bell. But we transformed our newsletter. It used to be once a month, and we were scrambling to kind of put some things together in there. I talked to a bunch of people, and we transformed our newsletter into a 12-page newsletter. You can sign up on our website to get it. Just go to the website, sign up. You don't have to do anything else but put in your email address. The unfortunate part is the technology that we do have asks for a bunch of information that we don't need. Just give me your email address and we'll send it to you. Now, if you have somebody who doesn't have an email address, we'll mail it to you. All you have to do is call in the board office. We mailed out 32. Our expense for the year was $6,000. So realistically, I can mail 12,000, I have the same expense that I had before. But it's a 12-page, it's an update from every school, it's an update from the curriculum director, it's an update from me. It'll soon be an update with the board member that will give you their perspective. We had the VFW, and I'm trying to think who else was in on that last one. We had another community update on the tree project. Off the top of my head, I forget. But we're gonna have community perspectives in there. Our fine arts and our athletic all have updates, and we put school calendars on there. So we want to develop that relationship with as many people as we possibly can. We can email it to anybody. It comes in a typical PDF. We'd like you to get the information. And if you have questions, you have concerns, you have something you want to know about, we want to get it out there as much as we possibly can. We want to be transparent with everything that we do. And one of the best ideas we got was an email that I received at the beginning of the year telling us how bad our website was. When I started to go through it, it was bad. And so we've worked very hard to make it a very informative and easy to navigate website for anybody that wants information. So, questions. We need 3 fact-finding questions. We need 3 so we can move on. I'm sorry, Meredith, it's the educator. I gotta have 3 questions. 3 good fact-finding questions. One of the senators here asked me about finances. Not one. I don't have the 15 problems of homework yet instead of 10. Yeah, that works. Mr. Patton, I know you have a good question for me. I'm going to put you on the spot.
I can't think of anything, sir.
No. Yes, sir.
Have you analyzed the proposed budget that's been put forward?
Yes.
What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Our thoughts is my treasurer's very stingy with the money. I shouldn't say sticky. I could say sticky. He doesn't give it up. With us, we're fine. We sit pretty good. We're about a 50-50. We're not going to get anything in the next biennium, but our carryover is a little bit over 40%. So we budgeted for that and planned ahead for that piece. So realistically, you're not going to see us on the ballot. I mean, for quite a bit, unless something truly goes crazy. I mean, every roof falls in and we got to do permanent improvement, but we're going to be fine. I think we really believe with the way that we've saved in the past and our carryovers being as high as they were, and thank goodness for our staff, not being over demanding in terms of unreasonable raises and stuff, that we're able to predict ourselves along and prepare for this. So we fit in. But I also say this because I had a senator told me this. It's February. There are a lot of happenings between now and June. And so to pay a little bit closer attention in May, it will have will be the stronger impact. But right now, I think we're very solid and financial. That's it. Kudos to our board and past administration and their spending habits. But that's a fantastic question. Did anybody know? Oh, okay, there we go. Now we got it. We're rolling.
Saw you on the news talking about bullying.
Yes.
Give us your assessment of how does Liberty Union handle bullying as a district?
Directly. And I would say the toughest thing is a high school principal. When I say this, I always handled it perfectly. As a high school principal, bullying is how the person receives it. There's a definition that states it has to be ongoing, intent, and those things, and you go through the definitions. If we have a kid that feels like they're walking the halls and feels scared or intimidated, that needs to be addressed. And we need to work through that. I think that the best training comes through is our kids in the school can help out other kids, and we're working very diligently with that. Our biggest problem is the bullying doesn't start in school. I'll tell you where it starts. Here. It starts at home, unsupervised kid that gets on the computer, that gets on their phone and says something, and then somebody reacts to it, and it starts to go. And that works its way into the school, and we can't control most of it. I would say for the most part, does it happen? I think it's always happened. Trying to get that fine line between what's teasing and what's bullying is a lot tougher than what it looks like. But we want every kid, hence our presence and the dedication that we have with 2 officers in our buildings. is to make every kid a safe environment. If we have a safe environment, then we can teach. If a kid doesn't feel safe, if a kid doesn't feel that he can walk the hallways in that manner, it's going to be hard to teach that child. So it's something we pay attention to every day. That's why we were the first one to sign up for the tip line. In the state of Ohio, we were the first district, and that's why it got to be launched here. But that is a great question. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm sorry,
What's the current status of the Pillar project and upgrading some of our athletic facilities?
Well, according to one board member, this is the reason why I was here. In a previous job, I built a stadium. I was, went through it and worked through Vasco with my GC and built a stadium at Revere, Ohio. And we looked at that. Right now, working with Donnie Williams, we've looked at the potential of upgrading our stadium. It needs an upgrade. We either got to scrape it and replant, or we got to go turf. We need an upgrade. We're playing on borrowed time. Our maintenance people we spend a ton of money just trying to get grass grow out there. What we're looking at now is the possibility of upgrading the stadium and turfing, and what we need to do it here. Because some of the drainage, part of the drainage is already there. The sewer's already there for bathrooms. The electricity's already there for lights. Part of all this infrastructure is already there. And so we're looking at that possibility, and we looked at the drainage, we looked at sites, we've had a couple of people to come in to see if we can upgrade down here without flooding. When the creek floods on the 100-year storm and it works its way back up, can we put in a detention pond? And how much can we hold in pipes if we go oversized pipes that we could keep the water off the field and coming back into turf and floating all those rubber pieces away? The Pillar project that I saw was over at the middle school, elementary school. We have to put that entire infrastructure in, which takes you from a cost around $7 million to build, where if we're able to redo the stadium, we may be less than $2 million. So we're looking at both plans to see if it's feasible. We're going to wait for our engineers to get back and tell us it's possible, but here's what you're going to have to do, or they're going to say it's not possible. So that's where we stand. We're still raising money because $2 million is still $2 million, and they're still raising money for it. One way or another, we're going to have to upgrade the stadium and the athletic, complex out here. It's going to be important to do. I saw another hand over here. Yes, sir.
Where do you stand with? Where does the school stand with open enrollment, and will financial problems in an adjoining school district affect that?
Open enrollment, two different things here. Open enrollment is a question that comes in. We have kids that leave our school, and we have kids that come in. We have, based on our teacher sizes and our classroom sizes, we have numbers. We're looking at a class at 125 would be our max. So a senior class of 125 would max us out. So let's say this, our current junior class has 102. So realistically, we could absorb 23 kids, receive some of that state money, and help our budget a little bit, absorb that without having to hire a teacher. Now, I wouldn't say that's a good plan. We would look at what those numbers are and where those come into play. When you get to elementary, those numbers change because you get into a smaller kid, let's say a kindergarten class, 125 with 4 teachers and 30 in a classroom, 5-year-olds, that's crazy. We want to keep that number a little bit lower. So each grade kind of has we have a different number. The hardest part with kindergarten is getting people to register for kindergarten way before school. As you move up the grade levels, you tend to know what you have grade levels, and we set parameters as to what we believe are solid numbers in classroom sizes. As you get a little bit older, I want to say this, if you have a group of students that are struggling with Algebra 2, which is mandatory to take, and we have those group of kids, you want to have a classroom size about 15 to manage those kids and give them some one-on-one. Your AP Calculus class can have 35. Those kids don't cause problems usually in AP Calc, and so that class can be a little bit bigger, so you can fluctuate up at the high school. So my personal opinion on open enrollment, I think to me that's school choice. As you kind of look at it, sometimes it works out better because parents are, live close to the district, work, cut through, have a history here, and their job took them elsewhere. Those type of things. Open enrollment's a good thing. Neighboring district. Not been through it before, But the state, the ODE, is the one that would have to say the neighboring district is going to be consolidated by another one. The problem for us would be if they would pick us, and I'm not even sure if we sit at the table, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot, I really don't know how that works, but we also absorb their debt. So if they're $10 million in debt, and we take them, whether we raise our hands and say, yeah, we'll take them, or we don't want them, but the state superintendent, Dr. Ross, says you got them, we get that $10 million in debt too that comes with it. So that's a unique thing. And it, you know, one of the little follow-up things is I usually hear is athletics. Students at Millersport, he's a sophomore at Millersport, and Millersport goes pay to play. The kid transfers to Liberty Union for whatever reason. He would have to sit half the season in the sport that he played in last year. Has to sit half the season. There's no, that's it, that's the rule. Bottom line, I know that coming in. If that child didn't play a sport last year, they could come in and play the full season. That's kind of how that open enrollment goes. They come in and do that, but they have to sit half the season if they played the sport last year. So that's how the athletic piece goes. That's usually a follow-up with that, so I thought I'd throw that in there. I know I'm way over my time, but like I said, I like to be very transparent. If at any point in time you ever want to sit and talk with me, you call Alice or you email me, we'll return the phone call, promise, or email within 24 hours, and we'll schedule a meeting and sit. I will talk with anybody regarding school business at any time. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know the answer. I'm in the process of researching all this, you know, bringing another district in, consolidation, because I never experienced it in my 25 years in education, but I'm going to get a little bit more knowledge about it. I talk to Mr. Contner daily over at Millersport. He's a great guy. Actually, he's been a terrific mentor for me. I talk to him all the time just regarding different things that come my way. He's a good man. He really is a good man. And so we do talk, and we understand the problems that they're facing, and I wish them the best of luck. And I hope that they pass their levy in May. Continue to operate. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I bet next year I'll get a time limit, huh?
Thank you, Superintendent Osborn. Good stuff in Liberty and Thurston School District. Two things before we close. I think we got the best snow warriors in PD. We thank you for the PD. We've already recognized them, but the snow warriors we got in Baltimore, please stand and be recognized. Our staff, they keep us free in our schedule, get us out to work and homes and our safety on our streets, and thank you. What Travis Markwood did announce was that the chamber, I'd like to try to work with the chamber and the business community. There's been some ask me about what we could do, and if we could schedule March 30th, 7 p.m. at the Gray House at 7 p.m. Maybe there's some new involvement for some people if to re-energize if the interest of the chamber. We were in 2014 noticed from Flo Walker that she was going to retire, and I would be remiss at this time if I didn't publicly recognize the 23 years of service of our Chief Fiscal Officer, Flo Walker, who was given to the taxpayers of Baltimore. Flo has been there and been here for all of us in the good times and the not so good times. And Flo, like I said, announced last year that she would retire. We will miss her spirit of dedication to the village of Baltimore, and we wish her the very best of luck. I would like to thank our good friends at the Fairfield National Bank, the corporate sponsors that they are, for sponsoring the Continental Breakfast and Hospitality at Liberty and Thurston School District. The Now Church, VFW Post 3761, Troy Balderson for being here, Mayor Smith, the media, and the village council, and the public for attending. You go out and enjoy the rest of the day, and thanks for Travis for participating, and have a beautiful day. Thank you.